She was standing there in the middle of the night, barefoot, bleeding. And when Edge asked where her parents were, the girl just pointed to the darkness ahead, but the blood on her feet wasn't the worst sign. Because children don't run away from home in the middle of the night for no reason. And that empty road hid something far worse than Edge could have imagined. What Edge found 200 meters ahead would change everything he thought he knew about evil. And it would make him question every time he drove past when he should have stopped. Edge's Harley was cutting through the emptiness of Route 49 at 3 in the morning when its headlights illuminated something that shouldn't be there. A silhouette too small, too still, in the middle of the yellow line. He braked hard. The engine roared one last time before absolute silence swallowed everything. She was a girl, maybe 6 years old, tangled hair covering part of her dirty face, a pink dress stained with dirt and something darker that glistened damply under the headlights. Her bare feet left red marks on the asphalt. Edge slowly dismounted his motorcycle, his heavy boots breaking the dead silence of that God-forsaken road. She didn't move. She just stared at him with deep, glassy, empty eyes, as if she could see right through him. Through everything. "Hey, little one. Are you hurt?" Nothing. Not even a blink. He crouched down to her level, his knees cracking. That's when he saw better. The deep scratches on her arms, the purple mark around her neck, the almost imperceptible tremor in her small hands clenched into fists. "Where are your parents?" The girl slowly raised her right arm as if it hurt. Her dirty finger pointed ahead towards the darkness of the road that disappeared around the bend. Edge felt his stomach clench. He grabbed the flashlight attached to his belt and illuminated the asphalt ahead. Skid marks, long, violent, recent. They still smelled of burnt rubber, and something had been dragged. Off the road, into the bushes. "What happened here, little one?" She kept pointing, but now her hand trembled more. Her lips moved silently, and a single tear slowly rolled down her face, dirty with dust and fear. That's when Edge heard it. A low sound, metallic, distant yet present, coming from somewhere beyond the dark trees that lined the road. Someone was still there, waiting, watching. Edge looked at the girl again. She had stopped pointing. Now she was hugging herself, rocking back and forth, her eyes fixed on the darkness as if she were seeing a ghost. "Did you walk all the way here by yourself?" She nodded. Almost nothing, but it was enough. Edge took off his leather vest and covered her shoulders. The fabric swallowed her thin little body. She didn't react. She kept swaying, lost somewhere far away. He picked up his cell phone. No signal. Obviously. 50 kilometers from the nearest town. No streetlights. No lights. Just emptiness. "Listen, little one. I'm going to take a look. Up ahead, okay? You stay right here by the motorcycle. Don't move. Understand?" For the first time, she reacted. She grabbed his arm with desperate force, her small nails digging into his skin. "He's not going," she whispered, her voice thin and broken. "He's still there." Edge froze. "Who's still there?" Her eyes filled with tears again. "My father." The metallic sound returned, louder now, closer, like metal scraping against metal. And Edge understood that this was no accident. It was a crime. Scene that was still unfolding. Mini cliffhanger. And when Edge illuminated the curve ahead, he saw what the girl was trying to say. Something that would make him understand that he had arrived too late, or perhaps at the exact right time. If you feel that this child deserved to be at home sleeping, not alone on a bleeding road, subscribe now and comment on where you're watching from, because what's coming next will break your heart. Edge held the flashlight firmly and walked slowly along the edge of the road, following the skid marks that turned into the bushes. The girl stayed behind, huddled beside the Harley, her vest dragging on the ground. 15 meters, 20, 30. That's when he saw the old, rust-brown Dodge, half hidden among the bushes. Driver's door open, headlights off, cold engine empty, Edge illuminated the interior, front seat stained red, rear window broken on the inside, and in the back seat, children's clothes, a pink backpack, a teddy bear lying on the Yawam floor. His stomach churned. He looked around. Footprints, several, leading into the dense woods, and then he saw blonde hair, caught on a low branch. It didn't belong to the girl. Edge ran back to the road. The girl was still in the same place, hugging her knees, rocking back and forth. He knelt in front of her again. He tried to keep his voice calm. "Honey, who was in the car with you?" She didn't answer. She just swayed. "Was there anyone else? Was your mother there?" The rocking stopped. She slowly lifted her face, and for the first time she looked directly into his eyes. It wasn't fear. It was something much worse. It was guilt, as if she had done something wrong, as if everything was her fault. Edge felt a tightness in his throat that almost choked him. He thought of his younger sister. He thought of the mother he couldn't protect when he was 15. He thought of all the times he turned his back when he should have stayed and faced the situation. "It wasn't your fault," he said, not quite knowing what he was talking about, but knowing he needed to say it. "What happened wasn't your fault." The girl moved her cracked lips, almost silently. "He said it was. He lied. He said that if I told, it would be worse for Mom." Edge closed his eyes for a second. He took a deep breath. Then he looked at her again. "Where is your mother now?" The girl pointed again, but this time not forward, to the car hidden in the bushes. "He told me to leave. He told me to run and not look back. But I looked. What did you see?" She trembled all over. Her eyes filled with tears that wouldn't fall. He was hitting her, and she wasn't moving anymore. The metallic sound returned. Now Edge recognized it. It was a shovel, striking hard ground. Someone was digging. Edge picked up his phone again. He waved it in the air, searching for a signal. 1 bar. Weak, unstable. He dialed 911. The call dropped. He tried again. He called. He called. He fell again. Shit. He looked at the girl. At, the empty road. At the darkness where someone was still doing something terrible. I had 2 options. Put the girl on the motorcycle and disappear. Go to the city, call the police, return with help, or stay and risk everything. The little girl held his hand. Small, cold, desperate. Don't let him hurt her again. And Edge knew he had no choice. It never had one. He took the motorcycle key and placed it in the girl's hand. "Do you know how to ride a motorcycle?" She shook her head. "So just stay here. If anyone shows up who isn't me, you run into the woods. Hide. Don't come back. Understand? And you?" Edge stared into the darkness. "I'll go get your mother." He stood up. He checked the knife tucked into his boot, the only weapon he had. He walked back to the Dodge. He followed the footprints. He went into the woods, and for the first time in years, Edge prayed, not because of him, for the woman who might still be alive. Mini cliffhanger. But when Edge finally found the clearing, he saw something that made his blood run cold, because the man wasn't alone, and the shovel wasn't the only thing he had in his hands. Edge knew this kind of darkness, not the darkness of the forest, but the other kind, the kind that lives inside certain people and turns homes into battlefields. He had grown up in it. Her father coming home drunk every weekend, the sound of the bottle breaking in the kitchen, her mother screaming, then silence. The silence was always worse, because it meant she had stopped resisting. Edge and his younger sister, Sophie, would lock themselves in their room, pretending nothing was happening. She, 7 years old, would cover her ears. He, 15, would sit on his bed, holding a baseball bat he never had the courage to use. One night, his mother didn't get up from the floor. His father disappeared, and Edge swore to himself that he would never be a coward again. But it was. At 17, when the neighbor next door screamed for help in the middle of the night, Edge pretended not to hear. He locked the door. He went back to sleep. 3 days later, they found her. It happened again when he was 20, when he saw a man dragging a crying woman into a car in a dark parking lot, and Edge thought it wasn't his problem. He got on his motorcycle. He drove away. I never knew what happened after that, and again, and again, and again, until stopping listening became a habit. Turning away became a reflex. But now he was in the middle of the woods, in the dark, following the sound of a shovel digging in the earth, knowing that a woman was dying or already dead because of a man who thought he could do whatever he wanted. And a 6-year-old girl was alone on a road, hoping that someone for the first time in her life wouldn't turn their back on her. Edge gripped the knife handle. He kept walking. The footprints grew deeper. The sound grew louder. And then he saw light. Faint, like a flashlight. He stopped behind a tree. He breathed slowly. He peeked. Out. There was a small clearing. A tall, thin man, his shirt torn, sweat dripping down his back, was digging a shallow hole. Beside him on the ground lay a woman. Property. Edge felt bile rising. He forced himself down. He observed. The man was tired. The shovel was too heavy. The hole was barely half a meter deep. He stopped. He wiped away the sweat. He looked at the woman. "You forced me," he said to his body. His voice was slurred, drunken. "You were going to leave me. You were going to take the girl from me. I couldn't let that happen." He went back to digging. Edge checked around. No weapons visible besides the shovel. No backpack. No cars nearby. The man was alone. Now or never. Edge emerged from behind the tree. He stepped on a dry branch. The crack echoed. The man turned quickly. He raised the shovel. His eyes were wide, bloodshot, lost. "Who's there?" Edge took another step. He stepped into the light. "You." The man narrowed his eyes. He looked Edge up and down. The leather. Vest. The tattoos, the posture. "You shouldn't be here. And you shouldn't be digging a hole for your wife." Silence. The man gripped the shovel tighter. "She's no longer your problem." "She's still breathing," Edge said. He'd seen it. Her chest rising, weakly, but rising. "Not for long. The police are coming." "That's a lie." But the man didn't know. He laughed. Bitterly. Broken. "The police don't come here. Nobody comes. Nobody cares. Your daughter called." The laughter stopped. The man's face contorted. "Where is she?" "Far from you. She is my daughter. Not after what you did." The man stepped forward, shovel raised. Edge did not back down. "Hit me," Edge said coldly. "See what happens." The man hesitated. For a second he saw something in Edge's eyes that made him stop. It wasn't fear. It was promised. Mini cliffhanger. But the man was not alone. And when Edge heard the engine coming down the trail, he understood that he had fallen into a trap far bigger than he had imagined. The engine sound grew louder. Old pickup truck, broken suspension, speeding down the narrow trail. The man smiled, rotten teeth, a relieved look. "My brother," he said. "I called him before you showed up." Edge looked around. No easy way out. Trees dense, trail blocked. The pickup truck stopped. The door opened. A man got out, taller than the first, big belly, dirty beard, and in his hands, a shotgun. "Problem, Ray?" he asked, his voice deep. Ray pointed the shovel at Edge. "This guy is sticking his nose where it doesn't belong." The brother walked until he was standing beside Ray. Shotgun pointed at the ground. Still. "This is private property, biker. You're trespassing." Edge kept his voice steady. "I only came to get my wife." "Which woman?" Edge pointed to the body on the ground. The brother looked. Then he looked back at Edge. "I don't see any women. I only see a lost motorcyclist who's going to have to dig his own hole." He picked up the rifle. Edge slowly raised his hands. "His daughter is on the road. I called the police. They already know I'm here." Another lie, but it was all I had. Ray spat on the ground. "You didn't call anyone. There's no signal here." "We know. Shit." Edge thought quickly. He needed time. He needed someone to pass by on the road, to see the girl, to call for help. But how long? 10 minutes? 20? An hour? He didn't have an hour. "Listen," Edge said calmly, trying to negotiate. "I'm leaving. You let her live. Nobody needs to know anything." Ray to them. "She won't live. She's seen too much. She knows too much. She is your wife." It was. Now it's just a problem. The brother stepped forward. "Enough talk. Drop the knife on the ground." Edge looked at the knife in his hand, then at the man with the shotgun, then at the woman on the ground. She had moved. Just a little. Her head turning slightly. Still alive. Edge threw the knife away. "Now, kneel down," the brother ordered. Edge didn't move. I said, "Kneel down." The rifle was pointed straight at his chest. Edge looked into the man's eyes. He saw pleasure there. Pleasure in having power. In causing fear. I recognized that look. It was the same as his father's. And for the first time in a long time, Edge felt no fear. He felt angry. "No." The brother frowned. "What?" I said no. "Shoot if you want, but I'm not going to kneel before a coward who beats women." Ray stepped forward, shovel raised. "Shut up. Does it make you feel big?" Edge continued, his voice rising. "Beating a defenseless woman? Terrorizing a child? I told you to shut up. Did your father beat you too? Is that why? Or are you just a loser?" Ray yelled. He ran with the shovel raised. Edge ducked. The shovel passed over him. He grabbed Ray by the waist. He threw him to the ground. The shot exploded. Edge felt the heat pass too close to his head. It rolled over. It stood up. It ran. Another shot. The tree next to it exploded into splinters. Edge threw himself behind a fallen tree trunk. His breathing was rapid. His heart was pounding uncontrollably. He heard the two of them talking. "You made a mistake? He's fast. Go after him." Footsteps, heavy, coming towards him. Edge looked around. Branches, stones, nothing that could serve as a weapon. And then he saw the knife, 3 meters to the left. On the ground, gleaming in the flashlight, he was going to have a chance. Just one. Mini cliffhanger. But as Edge prepared to run, he heard another sound. Familiar, powerful, and he realized that perhaps he wasn't as alone as he thought. The sound was unmistakable. Harleys. Several of them. Coming along the same trail the pickup truck had used. Ray and his brother heard it too. They stopped. They exchanged glances. "Who is it?" the brother whispered. "I don't know." 4 motorcycles appeared in the clearing. High beams illuminated everything. Engines shut off simultaneously. Heavy silence. 4 men got out. Edge recognized them all. Big Roy in front, 130 pounds of muscle and scars. Tank on the left. Nomad on the right, and Preacher behind, the oldest, white beard down to his chest. Roy looked around. He saw Edge behind the tree trunk. He saw the 2 men. He saw the woman on the ground. He saw the hole. "Edge, are you okay?" "I am," Edge replied, still not leaving the rooftop. Roy looked at the 2 men. "Can someone explain to me what's going on here?" The brother kept the rifle pointed, but now hesitantly. "Get off my property." "Your property?" Roy stepped forward. "I see a woman dying on the ground. I see a freshly dug hole. And I see you with a gun pointed at my brother. He invaded. He saved a child on the road," Roy interrupted, his voice rising. "A barefoot child, bleeding, terrified. And now I understand why." Tank and Nomad separated, surrounding each other from the sides. The brother spun the rifle around, not knowing where to aim. "Stay where you are. Or what?" Roy continued walking. "Are you going to shoot us all? How many cartridges do you have? 2? 3? That's enough." "No, it doesn't." Preacher moved silently. He circled around behind him. Ray noticed. He shouted, "Behind you!" The brother turned around. Preacher was already on top of him. He snatched the shotgun from his hands as if taking a toy from a child. He threw it away. Ray ran. Tank blocked. One punch. Ray fell. Edge left the cover. He picked up the knife from the ground. He ran to the woman. She was breathing. Weakly, irregularly, but breathing. "She needs to be in the hospital," Edge shouted. Roy knelt beside her. He checked her pulse, her pupils. Concussion, maybe internal bleeding. "We have to get her out of here now." Tank brought the pickup truck. They opened the truck bed. They made a makeshift stretcher out of jackets. They carefully placed the woman. Roy looked at Edge. "You drive. I'll sit in the back with her. Tank and Nomad stay here with those two until the police arrive." "And the girl?" Edge asked. "Preacher will pick her up. Take her to the hospital too." Edge nodded. He climbed into the truck. He started the engine. Before leaving, he looked out the window. Ray and his brother were on the ground, hands on their heads, Tank and Nomad on top. Ray looked at Edge, and for the first time, there was no anger in his eyes. "I was afraid." Edge stepped on the gas. The pickup truck sped down the trail, swaying violently, branches banging against its sides. Roy held the woman firmly in the truck bed. He yelled at Edge to go faster. 15 minutes later, they arrived at the main road. Preacher was already there, with the girl on the back of the motorcycle. She saw the pickup truck. She saw her mother in the back. He shouted, "Mommy!" Edge stopped. The girl jumped off the motorcycle. She ran to the truck bed. Roy caught her before she could climb up. "She's alive, little one, but she needs a doctor. You're coming with us, okay?" The girl nodded, crying. "Will she be okay?" Roy didn't answer, because he didn't know. He put the girl in the cabin with Edge. "The nearest hospital is in Millbrook. 20 minutes. You have 15. Edge glanced in the rearview mirror. The girl was beside him. The mother was behind him. Roy was holding her tightly. He floored it. The pickup truck sped down the dark road, and for the first time in years, Edge actually prayed, not because of him, for the 2 lives that depended on him not failing this time. Mini cliffhanger. But when the hospital lights finally appeared on the horizon, Edge heard Roy shout. Something that made his heart stop. "She's not breathing anymore." Edge floored it. The truck skidded at the entrance to the emergency room. He braked hard. "Help!" Roy yelled. "I need help here." 2 nurses ran out. A stretcher followed right behind. They placed the woman on the bed. They checked her pulse. "No heartbeat," one of them said. They started CPR right there, in the parking lot. The girl got out of the truck. Edge held her. "Don't look, little one." But she looked. She saw the nurses pressing on her mother's chest. She saw her head bobbing freely. She saw the blood trickling from her mouth. "Mommy!" Edge hugged her. He turned her face toward his chest. "They're going to save her. Trust me." But he didn't trust them, because he had already seen people die, and he knew what it was like. More doctors arrived. Defibrillator. Shocks. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. More massage. "Come on!" the doctor shouted. "Don't give up on me!" Another shock. Her whole body jumped. Silence. And then bip. Weak. Uneven. But beep. "Heartbeats are back," The nurse shouted. They rushed her inside. The girl broke free from Edge. She tried to run after him. A nurse picked her up. Hey, calm down. Are you her daughter? The girl nodded, crying uncontrollably. Your mother is going into surgery now. You can't come in, but I'll take care of you, okay? I want to stay with her. And she will, as soon as she leaves. I promise. The nurse looked at Edge and Roy. Are you two family? Friends? Roy said. Did you bring her? Yes. Do you know what happened? Edge and Roy exchanged glances. The husband, Edge said. He did it. The nurse's face hardened. Has the police been called? Already. And him? Where is he? Being held by our friends until the police arrive. She nodded. I'll let the social worker know. She'll need to speak with the girl. The nurse took the girl inside. She looked back. At Edge. Red eyes. Do you promise she'll get better? Edge wanted to promise. He wanted to say yes. That everything would be all right. But I couldn't. I promise I'll stay here, he said. Until you see her again. The girl disappeared through the doors. Edge leaned against the wall. He slid down until he was sitting on the floor. His hands were trembling, not from fear, from adrenaline, from exhaustion, from everything. Roy sat down next to him. You did the right thing. Edge let out a bitter laugh. Did I do that? I almost let her die. But he didn't let him. Just barely. It doesn't really matter. Silence. Edge closed his eyes. He saw the girl on the road. He saw the mother on the ground. He saw the hole. How many times, Roy? What? How many times have I walked right past? How many times have I seen something wrong and pretended it wasn't my problem? Roy didn't answer, because the answer was obvious. I should have stopped sooner, Edge continued. I should have stopped when I saw the guy dragging the woman to the car. I should have stopped when I heard the neighbor screaming. But you stopped today. Too late. No, at the right time. Roy placed his hand on his shoulder. You can't change the past, Edge. You can only choose who you are now. Edge opened his eyes. He looked at the dark sky. What if she doesn't survive? So you're stuck with the girl until she has somewhere else to go, and you live knowing that you tried. That's not enough. Sometimes it's all we have. They stayed there, sitting on the cold floor, waiting. 2 hours later, a doctor came out. Edge and Roy stood up. How is she doing? Edge asked. The doctor took off her mask. Stable. For now. Severe head trauma, 3 broken ribs, internal bleeding that we managed to control. She will need more surgeries. But she survived. Edge felt his legs go weak with relief. And the girl? With the social worker. Do you want to see her? He can. She's asking for you. Mini cliffhanger. But when Edge entered the room, the girl wasn't crying. She was silent. And her gaze was that of someone who had just understood that life would never be the same again. The room was small, faded peach-colored walls. A poster of a kitten hung crookedly. A sad attempt to make it seem cozy. The girl was sitting in a chair that was too big for her. Her feet were dangling without touching the ground. She was holding a glass of juice that she hadn't drunk. The social worker, a woman in her 40s with her hair tied back and tired eyes, was sitting on the other side. When Edge entered, the girl lifted her face. You stayed, she said. Genuine surprise. I said I was going to stay. She got down from the chair. She walked over to him. She hugged his leg again. Edge placed his hand on her head. He felt her trembling. The social worker stood up. Sir? Edge. Mr. Edge, thank you for bringing Emma. The police will want to speak with you. Emma, Edge repeated. Finally, she had a name. Yes, Emma Carter, 6 years old. Mother Sarah Carter, father Raymond Carter. The name left a bitter taste. Where is he now? Detained, along with his brother. They will be charged with attempted murder, assault, kidnapping, The list is long. And her? Edge looked at Emma. It will remain in state custody until we determine the best place for it. Family? None nearby. The mother has a sister in Oregon. We've already contacted her. Emma squeezed Edge's leg tighter. I don't want to go to Oregon. The social worker crouched down to her level. Honey, you're going to be with people who love you. I don't know them. But they are family. My father was family-oriented, and he hurt my mother. Heavy silence. The social worker didn't know what to say. Emma looked at Edge. Can you stay with me? Edge felt his chest tighten. Emma, I can't. I'm not family, but you saved me. This doesn't change the rules. Why not? The social worker intervened. Emma, Mr. Edge needs to go now, but you'll be in a safe place tonight and we'll talk more tomorrow, okay? I don't want to be alone. You're not staying. You have a very nice home with other children. I don't want any more children, Emma shouted. I want my mother. She started to cry. Loud sobs, her whole body shaking. Edge knelt down. He held her shoulders. Hey, look at me. Emma lifted her wet face. Your mother is alive, did you hear? She's alive. And she's going to get better, and you're going to see her again, I promise. What if she doesn't get better? She's going. How do you know? Because she has you, and a mother doesn't give up on her. Daughter. Emma threw herself into his arms. She cried some more. Edge hugged her, and for the first time in a long time, he let a few tears fall as well. The social worker cleared her throat. Senior Edge, 5 more minutes, he asked. She hesitated. Then she nodded. He left the room. He closed the door. Edge held Emma until she stopped crying. You're going to be okay, he said. You're strong, stronger than me. I am not. Yes, that's true. You walked for miles alone, in the dark, scared. But you didn't give up. That's courage. I was scared. Courage is not about not being afraid. It's about doing the right thing even when you're afraid. Emma wiped her face with her hands. Are you coming back? Edge wanted to say yes. He wanted to promise. But she looked around, at the sad room, at the system that was going to swallow this girl whole. And I knew I couldn't promise anything. I'll try, he said. But I don't know if they'll let me. Why not? Because the world is complicated. That's unfair. Yes, very much so. She hugged him again. Thank you for not leaving. Thank you for making me stop. The door opened. The social worker returned. It's time. Emma let go of Edge. Slowly. He stood up. He looked at the social worker. Will she be well taken care of? Yes, I promise. Edge nodded. He started to leave. Edge, Emma called. He turned around. If you see my mother, tell her that I love her. I'll tell you. And he left before collapsing in front of her. Mini cliffhanger. But outside, Big Roy was waiting, and the expression on his face said that something had changed. Something big. Roy was leaning against his Harley, arms crossed, jaw clenched. What was that? Edge asked. Tank called. The police arrived. They took them both away. So? And your brother is saying that you threatened them, that you trespassed on private property, that you provoked all of this. Edge felt his blood rush to his head. He's lying. I know. But there's a sheriff there who knows the family. He's supporting them. What do you mean by paying for it? He said it may have been self-defense, that they felt threatened by a group of motorcyclists trespassing on the property. The woman was dying on the floor. I know. Roy raised his hands. But the sheriff is their cousin. He's trying to weaken the case. Edge walked in circles, hands in his hair. So what? They're going to release those bastards? I don't know. The prosecutor hasn't decided yet. But Tank said the atmosphere is, bad. And that it's best if we leave town before they send a warrant out for us. I'm not leaving. Edge, I'm not going to leave that girl alone. And I'm not going to let those guys get away with it. It's not about whether you want to or not. If they arrest you, it's pointless. Edge stopped. He took a deep breath. There has to be something we can do. Yes. Wait. Let the system work. The system isn't working, Roy. You know that. Sometimes it works. Not for people like us. Roy didn't argue. Because it was true. They remained silent. Then Edge's cell phone vibrated. Unknown number. He answered. Hello? Mr. Edge? A female voice, formal. Yes. This is Dr. Helena Ramos. I'm taking care of Sarah Carter. Edge held the phone more firmly. How is she doing? Stable but aware. And asking to speak with you. With me? She said she needs to thank the man who saved her daughter. Edge looked at Roy. Can I go now? Yes. But she's weak. She can't stay like that for long. Understood. I'll be right there. He hung up. Roy raised an eyebrow. Does your mother want to talk to you? Yes. Okay then. I'll stay here with Emma. Serious? Someone has to stay. And you've already bonded with both of them. It makes sense. Edge nodded. He thanked him. He got on the Harley. He started the engine. But before leaving, Roy called. Edge. He turned around. If the sheriff comes after you, run. Don't be a hero. Edge gave a half smile. Too late for that. And he sped off toward the hospital. 20 minutes later, I was in her room. Sarah Carter was lying there. Her face was purple. Her eye was swollen. Her lip was cut. Tubes were coming out of her arm, but aware, and looking at him. You, she said. Her voice was hoarse. Edge approached. Hey. Thanks. You don't need to say thank you. Yes, I need it. You saved my life, and you saved my daughter. Edge shook his head. I almost didn't stop. I almost kept going, but it stopped. And that's all. She coughed. She grimaced in pain. Is Emma? Okay, she asked. Okay, scared, missing you, but fine. Where is she? With a social worker, until you get better. Tears streamed down Sarah's face. I failed her. No, I let him hurt her. You tried to protect her. He's the monster. I should have left sooner, and he was going to let him. Silence. He said that if I left, he would kill me and take Emma with him. Now he can't do anything. Yes, he can. He has friends, family. They'll try to get him out of jail. Don't worry about that now. How can I not worry? She tried to sit up. She groaned in pain. He promised that if I told anyone, he would kill me. Edge held her hand, fragile, cold. He won't touch you again, I promise. Sarah looked into his eyes, searching for certainty. How can you promise that? Because I won't let you. You can't stay here forever. I can stay as long as necessary. And at that moment, Edge realized he wasn't going to leave. Not until we were sure they were safe. Even if it meant confronting the sheriff, the law, the system. Mini cliffhanger. But when Edge left the hospital, 2 police officers were waiting outside, and one of them had handcuffs on his hand. Edge stopped at the door. He assessed the situation. 2 policemen, one old big belly, gray mustache, the other young, thin, hand on his holster. The old man took a step forward. Are you Edge Malone? Edge did not respond. I need you to come with me, sir. Why? Trespassing, threat, assault. I didn't attack anyone. That's not what Raymond Carter is saying. Raymond Carter is a liar, and he tried to kill his wife. That will be decided by the judge. Now turn around and put your hands behind your back. Edge looked around. Empty parking lot. No witnesses. No way out. He could run. He could fight. But it would only make things worse. He turned around. He put his hands behind his back. The young police officer handcuffed him. Too tightly. Is this necessary? Edge asked. Protocol. They took him to the police car. pushed his head down. They put him in the back seat. The old man sat in the front. He looked in the rearview mirror. "You're new here, right?" Edge did not respond. "So I'll give you some advice. Don't mess with the Carter family. They have deep roots in this city. Rotten roots." The police officer smiled, without humor. "It could be. But they're still just roots." The vehicle left. Edge looked out the window. He saw Big Roy leaving the hospital. He saw him realize. He saw the angry expression on his face. Roy picked up his cell phone. "I was going to call the others." At the police station, they removed the handcuffs. They threw Edge into a small cell. No window, just a concrete bench and a vase. He sat down. He leaned his head against the cold wall. Hours passed. Nobody came. Edge closed his eyes. He tried not to think. But he did think. He thought of Emma waiting for him to return. He thought of Sarah in the hospital, alone, vulnerable. He thought of Raymond Carter as free, plotting revenge. He thought about how many times he had failed before, and this time, he had failed again. It was in the early morning hours that the cell door opened. Edge stood up, expecting the worst, but the one who entered was a woman, about 35 years old. Dark suit, leather briefcase, steady gaze. "Mr. Malone, who are you?" "Prosecutor Rebecca Hines. I've come to speak with you about the Carter case." Edge stood up. "Are they going to accuse me?" "It depends. Of what?" "Your cooperation." She opened the folder, took out photos, placed them on the makeshift table. Photos of Sarah in the hospital, of the hole in the forest, of the marks on Emma's neck. "Sheriff Carson is trying to close the case," she said, claiming lack of evidence, saying it was a domestic dispute, that you and your friends exaggerated. "That's a lie. I know. But I need more than just my word. We have the victim's word. Yes, she does. But Carson will claim she was coerced, that she's afraid, that she's not a reliable witness. And Emma, child, court may dismiss." Edge punched the wall. "So what do you want from me?" "Your testimony, detailed, of everything you saw, and I need you not to leave the city. Are they going to let me go?" "For now. But if Raymond is released too, you'll become a target. I can handle it. It's not just you, it's Sarah, it's Emma. He could go after them." Edge felt his stomach churn. "Then arrest him. I'm trying. But I need to build a solid case, and that takes time." "How long?" "Weeks, maybe months." Edge shook his head. "They are not months old. I know. That's why I need you to trust me." Edge looked into her eyes, searching for sincerity. It found. "Okay. What do you need?" She took out a tape recorder. "Tell me everything, from the beginning." And Edge told the story, every detail, every second. When it was over, it was already dawn. Rebecca turned off the recorder. "Thank you. That helps a lot. When can I leave here?" "Now." She knocked on the door. The guard opened it. Edge left. He grabbed his things. Outside, Big Roy was waiting. "It took a while," he said. Edge gave a half smile. "I had to give an interview. And now? Now we wait. And protect the girls. What if Raymond leaves?" Edge looked towards the horizon. The sun was rising. "Then we do what we've always done." "What is it?" "Justice our way." Mini cliffhanger. But what Edge didn't know was that Raymond already had a plan, and that the threat wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from within, from someone they trusted. 3 days later, Edge was at the old diner near the hospital. Cold coffee, hard toast, no appetite. The cell phone vibrated. Message from an unknown number. "Edge, I need to talk to you, urgently." "Sarah." He frowned. Sarah didn't have his number. He called the hospital. He asked to speak to her. "She was discharged yesterday," the receptionist said. What do you mean by high? She was seriously ill. He signed a waiver of responsibility. He left of his own accord. Edge hung up, heart racing. Something is wrong. He called Roy. Sarah disappeared. How did it just disappear? She was discharged from the hospital. Nobody knows where she is. And Emma? Edge froze. He hadn't thought of that. She called the social worker, straight to voicemail. He called again. On the fourth attempt, someone answered. Hello? Where's Emma? Who is it? Edge, the guy who brought her. Where is she? Oh, Mr. Edge. Emma was released yesterday. Her mother came to pick her up. Edge's world spun. The mother was in the hospital. How did she come to pick her up? She was discharged from the hospital. Everything was fine. She signed the papers. She took Emma with her. Where to? I don't know. I'm not obligated to know. You let an injured woman take a traumatized child and didn't ask where they were going? Mr. Edge, she's the mother. She has legal custody. I can't stop her. Edge hung up. He threw his phone on the table. Roy came running. What happened? Sarah took Emma. Nobody knows where. She wouldn't do that. Not alone. Exactly. The two looked at each other, and they understood at the same time. Raymond. Edge called the prosecutor. Rebecca, is Raymond still in jail? No. The judge granted bail yesterday. What do you mean by bail? Carson pressed me. I tried to stop him, but where is he now? I don't know. I should be wearing an electronic ankle monitor, but the signal disappeared 2 hours ago. Shit. Edge, what's going on? Sarah and Emma disappeared. Raymond left. Connect the dots. Silence on the other end. I'm going to issue a warrant. There's no time for that. Edge turned it off. He looked at Roy. We need to find them. Now. Where do we begin? Edge thought. Sarah had no car. She had no money. She had nowhere to go. Unless her sister, Edge said. In Oregon. How do you know? The social worker said, they're Sarah's only family. Oregon is far away. How was she going to get there? Bus, train, hitchhiking. With Raymond behind her? Edge grabbed the motorcycle keys. He's not looking for her. He's already found her. How do you know? Because he wasn't going to cut off the ankle monitor without a plan. Roy took his keys as well. I'll go with you. Call the others. We might need them. Roy nodded. He picked up the phone. Edge ran away. He drove around the city. He checked the bus station. Empty. He checked the train station. Nothing. He checked the trailer where Sarah lived. The door was broken open. Inside, everything was ransacked. Clothes were on the floor. Drawers were open. Signs of a struggle. Edge felt his blood run cold. On the floor, near the door, he saw something. A pink bracelet. A child's bracelet. It belonged to Emma. He remembered seeing it on her wrist at the hospital. He took it. He squeezed it in his hand. Where are you? He whispered. That's when she saw it. Scribbled on the wall, in red lipstick. Route 49, where it all began. Edge ran to the motorcycle. Accelerated. Route 49. The same road where he had met Emma. Raymond would finish what he started. 10 minutes later, Edge saw the brown Dodge stopped on the shoulder. Same curve, same place. He braked, he got off. The car door was open, empty. But he listened. Voices, coming from the forest. Male. He jumped over the bushes, he followed the sound. And then he saw the same clearing, the same hole, now bigger. Raymond with the shovel, sweating, laughing, and on the ground. Sarah, tied up. Gagged, crying. Emma beside her, holding her mother, screaming. Edge emerged from the trees. Raymond turned. He smiled. I knew you were coming. Mini cliffhanger. And when Edge took his first step, he saw the reflection of the metal. Raymond had something on his belt. And this time, it wasn't just a shovel. Raymond threw the shovel aside. He pulled the gun from his waist, an old revolver. Rusty. But it worked. He pointed to Edge. One more step and I'll shoot. Edge stopped, hands raised. Calm. Down, Raymond. Don't tell me to calm down, he shouted. You've ruined my life. You destroyed your own life when you hit them. They are mine. I do what I want. Sarah screamed, her voice muffled by the gag. She tried to break free. She couldn't. Emma was crying, clinging to her mother. Let them go, Edge said, his voice firm. It's me you have a problem with. Raymond laughed, high-pitched sound, broken. You're right, it's up to you, but they'll watch you die first. He aimed for Edge's chest. Goodbye, biker. Finger on the trigger, and then came the roar. Harleys. 4. Surrounding the clearing on all sides. Raymond spun around, lost, not knowing where to aim. Big Roy appeared from the left, Tank from the right, Nomad and Preacher behind, all armed. Raymond pointed the gun at Roy. Stay away. Roy didn't stop. He kept walking. You have 1 bullet. We have 4. Do the math. I'll shoot her. Raymond pointed at Sarah. Edge took a step. Don't do that. Stay where you are. Raymond, listen. You've already lost. The police know you're here. The prosecutor knows. The sheriff knows. You have nowhere to go. I don't care. If I fall, they'll fall with me. He pulled the trigger harder. Emma screamed, Don't hurt my mother. Raymond looked at his daughter. For the first time, he hesitated. Emma, Dad doesn't want to hurt anyone. That's a lie. You always get hurt. I just wanted my family back. We are not your family. Families love each other. All you know how to do is hit. The words cut deep. Raymond lowered his weapon slightly. He looked at the ground. I didn't mean to. That's when Edge made a move. Fast, accurate. He snatched the gun from Raymond's hand. He threw it away. Raymond tried to fight back. Edge punched him. Once, twice. Raymond fell. Edge pounced punches, rage, years of frustration coming out. Edge, Roy shouted. Enough. But Edge didn't stop. Walk, walk, walk. Edge, Roy pulled him out. Tank helped. Raymond lay on the ground. His face was bleeding. He was unconscious. Edge was breathing heavily. His hands were trembling, bloody. Preacher went to Sarah. He removed the gag. He cut the ropes. She hugged Emma. They cried together. It's over, Preacher said. It's over. Sirens in the distance. The police were arriving. Edge looked at Raymond on the ground. He wanted to feel satisfaction. He wanted to feel justice. But he only felt empty. Because I knew. It never ended. There would always be another Raymond, another Sarah, another Emma. And he couldn't save them all. Roy placed his hand on his shoulder. You did what you could. Edge nodded. But he didn't answer. 3 vehicles arrived. Prosecutor Rebecca came along. Raymond was arrested, this time without bail. Sarah and Emma were taken to the hospital. Again. But this time with a police escort. Rebecca approached Edge. You should have waited for us. I didn't have time. He could have died. But I didn't die. She shook her head. Thank you. Again. Edge did not respond. He got on the Harley. Edge, Rebecca called. He turned around. The trial is next month. I'm going to need you. I'll be there. And then what? Are you going to leave? Edge looked at the road, at the forest, at the place where it all began. I don't know yet. Sarah and Emma are going to need you. What they need is peace, not reminders. You are not a memory. You are hope. Edge gave the starting signal. We'll see. And it accelerated, without looking back. Mini cliffhanger. But 3 weeks later, a letter arrived. And what was written inside would change everything. Edge was in an old bar in Bakersfield. Warm beer, bad music, heavy silence. He had driven 300 kilometers trying to forget. He couldn't. The bartender placed an envelope in front of him. It's here for you. Edge frowned. How do you know it's for me? It has your name on it, and the woman who brought it said you were going to be here. Which woman? I don't know. He left before I could ask. Edge picked up the envelope. Cheap paper, childish handwriting on the address. It opened. Inside, a drawing. Him, on the motorcycle. Emma beside him. Sarah behind him. Everyone smiling. Below, written in crayon, "Thank you for not giving up on us. Mom said you think we don't need you, but we do, because you reminded us that there are still good people in the world and that heroes don't wear capes, they wear leather vests." Emma. Edge felt his throat tighten. Turn the page. On the other side, adult. Lyrics. Trembling. Edge, I don't know how to thank you. You saved my life. You saved my daughter. You gave us a second chance. The trial was last week. Raymond got 25 years. No possibility of parole before 10. Emma and I are living with my sister in Oregon now. We're safe. We're happy. Or at least trying to be. Emma asks about you every day. Says she wants to see you again. Me too. You don't have to answer this letter if you don't want to. But know that you'll always have a place. Here. Always. Sarah. Edge folded the letter. He put it in his pocket. He drank the beer in one gulp. He got up. He paid. He left. He got on the Harley. He started the engine. He looked at the road ahead. Empty. Endless. She thought about moving on. About never looking back. About forgetting. But I couldn't. Because for the first time in a long time, he had something to come back for. It accelerated. Not forward. Backwards. Oregon direction. 2 days later, he stopped in front of a small house. Green lawn, white fence, flowers in the window, so different from the dirty trailer where Sarah lived. He got off the motorcycle, he walked to the door. It hit. Silence. It hit again. The door opened. Emma, eyes wide open, mouth agape. Edge. She jumped on him. She hugged him tightly. Edge held her. He felt her small weight, alive, safe. "Hi, little one. You came. I knew you were coming." Sarah appeared behind her. Her face was still marked, but she was smiling. "You came." She repeated, her voice choked with emotion. "Because." Emma pulled him inside. "Come on, you have to see my room, and the garden, and the school." Edge laughed. First time in weeks. Sarah closed the door. "Are you going to stay?" Edge looked around. At the simple house. At Emma running happily. At Sarah waiting for an answer. "For how long?" "For as long as you want," Edge thought. On the road, in solitude, about the things he never had the courage to face. "A few days," he said. "Maybe." Sarah smiled. "A few days is enough." That night, Emma asked Edge to tell her stories. He told the story, edited, no blood, no death, just adventure, just the open road, just freedom. She fell asleep with her head on his shoulder. Sarah covered her with a blanket. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." Edge looked at Emma sleeping, peaceful, safe. "She'll be fine," he said. "And you?" Edge did not respond. "Because I didn't know." Sarah sat down next to him. "Do you know what Emma told me yesterday?" "What?" "She wants to be like you when she grows up. Strong, courageous, someone who doesn't give up." Edge felt his eyes burning. "She's already like that." "Because of you?" "No. Because of herself." Sarah took his hand. "You might not believe it, but you changed our lives. And even if you leave tomorrow, we'll never forget." Edge looked at her, into her tired but hopeful eyes. "I'm not leaving tomorrow." "No?" "No." He looked at Emma. "A few days, remember?" Sarah smiled, and for the first time in a long time, Edge as well. 3 months later, Edge was still there. I didn't live in the house, but I visited, almost every day. He used to take Emma to school on his motorcycle. He had coffee with Sarah. He helped in the garden. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't a traditional family, but it was enough. One afternoon, while Emma was playing in the yard, Sarah sat next to Edge on the step. "Are you going to stay forever?" she asked. Edge gazed at the horizon. "I don't know what forever is. Me neither. But it would be good to find out. Together." Edge looked at her, at Emma laughing, and he understood. He had spent his life running away from responsibility, from connection, from pain. But now he had something worth staying for. "Let's see," he said. And for the first time, he believed that maybe, just maybe, he deserved a second chance too. Because heroes aren't perfect. They don't have all the answers. Sometimes they arrive late. Sometimes they fail. But the difference is simple. They stop. When the world asks them to move forward, they stop, and they try, even bleeding, even afraid, even knowing that maybe it won't be enough. Because in the end, trying is all we have. If this story touched you, leave a like now. Subscribe, because there are more people who need to be saved, and sometimes those who save also need to be saved. Next video, you won't believe what happens. Next video, another biker, another road, another life hanging by a thread. But this time, what he finds will test every fiber of his courage, and when you think you've seen it all, get ready, because the real pain hasn't even begun yet. Watch now.